So what we're going to do today, first, everyone, I hope had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the good stuff. We're going to do a live here Sunday morning. Got the Patriots coming on here in a little bit. And so just got done playing with all the toys that Santa brought me. Figured we'll have a little chat for a little bit. I am not doing, let me know how the, if I'm skipping or, hey, Merry Christmas, Beef. I'm going straight Wi-Fi today. I took my cell off. Merry Christmas, DP, because a lot of times when I do this, people will call me. Even if I put on Do Not Disturb, it still kicks me off for some reason, so we're going to take that off completely. Hey, son, what's up, Danny? Jason, what's going on? So we'll answer some questions. We'll talk about, I don't know, what gifts everyone got. Goldie Wannabe, what's going on? As you all come in here, if you could give me a thumbs up or give me like the video, that'd be awesome. We'll get a bunch of people in here. Yeah, it can be good that things stay back when it comes to hitting. Stay back means a bunch of different things. So I have videos on stay back. Hi, Tyson, if you want to check them out. Merry Christmas, Oakley, and thank you so much. Jeffrey, Christmas was great. How was yours? Hey, thanks, Danny. Advice on mental parts of the game. I have a mental playlist, mental skills playlist on our channel. You should go watch. I do still have a bunch of cards, yep. And congrats for hitting 70 this weekend. So unfortunately, I left my tripod at the facility. Thanks, Goldie. Merry Christmas, Jason. And so now I have, my tripod right now is literally a table with a chair on top of the table with my kids like building blocks, holding my phone up. Hey, you got a wood bat? It's awesome. All right, good. So audio's good. That's perfect. I don't think the season's going to get canceled. No, I think they'll get everything figured out at some point. It'll just take a little bit of time. Hi, Alex. Thanks for hanging out. Merry Christmas to you, too. John, Merry Christmas. Josh, thank you for the super chat. If Video Game Matt wrote an autobiography, what would it be called? Oh, wow, that's a good one. You all suck. No. Wow, that's a great question. The next plaque, I think I might be like 1 million subscribers. I don't know. That's 100,000. I got a ways to go for 1 million. What would the autobiography be called? I might have to make a YouTube video just on that. Damn, you stumped me. Yeah, I agree, John. Everyone share the channel. Let's get a bunch of people in here. The best angle to shoot a recruiting video when hitting, I like to shoot from a side angle, so looking at your chest when you're swinging so they can see your mechanics. And then I like to see one where they can see the ball kind of travel a little bit. Catching tips. I have a catching playlist also. So biggest thing, I always tell all of our catchers, I say, Lucky Charms. I like that one. I always tell our catchers the number one thing in catching we need to work on is catching the ball. That's why they call you a catcher, not a dropper. So that would be the most important thing. But I have a bunch of drills and everything on our channel. Stay flat through the ball or rise up. You don't want to like rise up. Your barrel should come, it should start working down. Then it should start to flatten out. And then it's going to start to slightly rise, right, as it starts to get through the hitting zone, depending on where you hit the ball. Like the deeper you hit it, the flatter your path is probably going to be, and then the more you catch it out front, the more the barrel's going to start to work slightly up. Some advice to make the MLB. Well, that's what this whole channel is really about. Well, not really. I mean, some of it's about it, but hey, what's up, Frankie? If you want to make the major leagues, you got to be really good, which means you got to work really hard, which means you got to really love working hard, and then it means you got to get a little bit lucky, and you have to have some, hopefully, some physical gifts that you were given when born that you can continue to develop through hard work, and then you got to play well and get really lucky again. Luck has a lot to do with it, I do think. There's a lot of people in the world, so. All right, I might have missed a couple of. What's harder to hit, a fastball with lots of rise and spin rate, or a sinker with lots of run and drop? Harder to hit, probably the high fastball. Harder to, you probably swing and miss more. You would swing and miss more probably on the high fastball, the high hard fastball with spin rate. Hard to square up the sinker though too. Did Laura's Christmas tree survive through the holidays? The one outside did, yes. The one inside actually started to die. We luckily just made it. I've never ignored the take sign before, no. And I don't swing 3-0 really ever, so, or I didn't. Hey, what's up, Forever? So I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you guys know this. So when I do these on my phone, and so I'm on my front-facing camera, which obviously the resolution, or it's not as good. So like the people sometimes say, "Oh, it's not super high quality video." Is there another way to do it? I can't. I know some people will do it like on their computers and stuff. I don't know how to do that. Actually, I just got a new phone. I got a new phone for Christmas. So this isn't it yet, though. I haven't busted it open yet. I have it. I just have to. Maybe I should have got it set up for this. Do you give your players a green light 3-0? Yeah, I give all of our players a green light 3-0. In summer ball, in high school ball, it'll be a little bit different. In summer ball, I really run it for most of the year. It's all about the players, and if they feel like they can get a 3, if we have a, if we have a hitter up and it's 3-0, and like I don't want them to walk, especially if they're a player that can drive the ball and coaches there watch them. So I let them swing, but for high school ball, it'll be a little bit different. We'll be trying to win a little bit more in high school ball. Not that we weren't trying to win in summer ball. We're always trying to win, but I'm not young, and I don't want to go back to the major leagues. I mean, if you told me that I could be fully healthy and my body would feel great and I could go to the major leagues right now and play well, then yeah, I'd be like, okay. But I should make a video on that. A lot of people say like, "Oh, you're so young, man. Why don't you go back and try to play in the major leagues again?" I am not young. Like 36 might seem young to most people, but it's not young when it comes to baseball. When I was released at 28 or whenever I was, like that was old in the minor leagues. I was getting old. Angel Hernandez, I mean, everyone says he stinks. I don't follow him enough to really know, but 162 is a grind. What happened to the contract you recently showed us? What contract was that? I don't know. I showed you a contract. Which contract did I show? Hi, Takumi in Florida. Getting ready for some baseball? Everyone must be sleeping late today. We have a low amount of people hanging out with us today. Andy, that is a great point. Just think about that, what it's like when you're like, 21 or 19 versus 36. What do I think of Byron Buxton? I think the guy's got physical tools out the you-know-what. Been banged up a little bit, but if he can stay healthy and on the field, he's going to be an absolute stud. I've been offered to be a minor league manager multiple times, and I have not accepted, Dalton. Yeah, band work. I think anytime you're going to throw, it's a good idea to be able to get yourself For instance, a lot of players, a lot of young players, they just throw to get loose. They don't get loose to throw. So I think that using bands and different, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it to get yourself warm to throw instead of throwing to get warm. So best memory of Cape Cod ball. Yes, Yadi Molina is 41 exactly. He's called a freak of nature. I don't know if he's 41. I have no idea how old he is. I don't think he's 41, but maybe he is. I don't know. But he's a freak of nature. It's kind of like Tom Brady being 44 and everyone being like, well, then let's all go back and play in the NFL. No. Sorry, I was answering a question. I got distracted from, Cape Cod League. My favorite Cape Cod memory was probably, man, I don't know, probably the game against Chatham Age when we had a no-hitter going. I made a nice catch at the end of the game, and we actually lost a no-hitter on the last play of the game. But that was probably one of my favorite memories. But there's a ton of great memories from the Cape Cod League. The league was really fun to play in. My 7-1 takes a couple 100 grams a week, plenty of drills from your vids, swimming on the etc. Fields, 98 struggles in the game, and I did more reps. Mix up the drills you're doing, and then are you hitting them at are you hitting them a lot of game-like reps also, not just the drills? The drills are great, but then you've got to practice. Don't do the drills and then struggles on game field. I don't know if that meant in game or just on a game field. So I'd rip him a million ground balls. He's only 7 years old also. My son's 7. He missed a lot of balls. So Evan, thank you so much for the super chat. How long did it take you to adjust your mindset to life after professional baseball? What mental obstacles did you have to overcome? Evan, I actually think I just made a video on this. I think it went live maybe a few days ago. It took me about 2 weeks to kind of mentally get my head screwed back on. So it wasn't... It's okay, Evan. Merry Christmas, 20 Legend. Yeah, so it took me about 2 weeks or so. And I just think I just had to kind of get used to not being a baseball player anymore. So I lived in Massachusetts, Gerardo. And also, I just wanted to let you know, Bailey, you keep saying please respond, but I don't know what to respond to. Please respond. Hello, Bailey. I don't know if that's what you wanted me to respond to, but how do you get recruited early? Well, you have to be really good. The earlier you get recruited, the better you have to be. And then, you have to be someplace where people can see you, whether that's a college camp or a showcase or a tournament or, make a video of yourself throwing 98 miles an hour and you'll get a lot of interest. Boxing Day, all right. How would you improve your velocity for throwing? So probably too much for me to go into completely or here. But just like with hitting with anything, I think using your body properly is a huge part of it, just like with swinging. So it sounds easy to say, it's pitching mechanics, but not so much pitching mechanics, just throwing mechanics, just the way you use your body, I think is you can make huge improvements there, but then it depends on the player. Some players are really weak. Some players are, they can't move. Their bodies just don't move properly. So it just depends on the player. You can use weighted balls. Some people can, yeah. Hi, I'm doing great. HRS. Is that home runs? Oh, Gerardo, you got my first game. That's awesome. Who has the best swing in the MLB? There's a lot of great swings. I don't know. I guess I'd probably have to go with, I don't know. Mike Trout's great swing. Juan Soto has an amazing swing. Thanks, the Flossy. Remember Richie from your 2019 Road to the Show? I heard. Hold on. Well, these questions are coming in fast now. I do like Mike Trout. He made it to the big leagues? Well, someone made a mistake. Is it easier to be recruited as a pitcher? Yeah, it's much easier to be recruited as a pitcher. You want me to show you why it's easier to be recruited as a pitcher? Because as a pitcher, as a hitter, someone needs to come watch you hit a bunch, right? Like as a hitter, I could hit a ball 400 feet, but I might just get lucky that one time and swing and miss 1,000 other times. So you've got to watch a hitter over and over and over again. As a pitcher, I can make a video of myself throwing 97 miles an hour, and almost everyone is going to be like, let's recruit this guy. Now, I understand you might throw it off the backstop here and over. Like, yeah, that you can't do that. But if you can show someone real quick in 10 seconds that you can throw 97 miles an hour in a video, or that's being, even 92 miles an hour, then you can get recruited like that. I guess that could happen as a hitter too. If you can hit a ball 450 feet and you can show someone a video, it's probably a pretty good chance you're going to get recruited pretty quickly. But a lot of times people will come out and watch a player pitch once. Boom, I love them, take them. As a hitter, they want to come out a few more times. What did I get for Christmas? I didn't get anything for Christmas. I'm too old. I buy things for Christmas. I buy people things for Christmas now. Actually, that's a lie. I got some things. I got old people things like socks and underwear and deodorant. My son got a cool present, though. Santa brought him this, which he loves, we were down here playing last night and this morning. I told him I need a few minutes. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let's see if you can see. So he got that cool little basketball thing over there. That's like he's obsessed with it already, which we knew he would be. Were you happy to be in the MLB at the time that you were? I was actually struggling in the MLB, so I wasn't very happy, but hey, Flyers fan, I'm going to go Juan Soto, but there's tons of great swings. Oh, very cool, Sean. Merry Christmas to you, too. Hey, thank you very much, Diego. My favorite team, I don't really have one. My favorite baseball player currently there's so many of them, Acuna and Soto and Tatis and Trout and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and I don't know. I don't have a favorite player. I love all of them. New Padres uniforms, the ones that they currently wore this past year, I don't mind them. You got a batting cage, Bailey? That's pretty cool. Hey, thanks, Aaron. You too. The Braves were signing Soler. I don't know. The guy can hit the ball a mile. His average seems to not be great. I don't follow the Braves a ton, but Roberto Clemente was a stud. Hey, Andy, thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys, too. Bo Bichette's a terrific player. I think Freeman would like to stay with the Braves. I'm sure they'd love to have him back. I think it just depends on what other teams give you, As they say, money talks. So, I wouldn't mind playing in LA. Oh, Win Reality? Is that what you just said? I saw that? Yeah. I have not used it yet, but I'm probably going to get one. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know about that Bichette story, though. But oh, Ethan. I don't know how long the lockout's going to go, but I think it's going to get done before that. Hey, that's great, able friend. Good luck to you. How did you first get in love with baseball? Oh, I don't really remember. I just like sports. Probably just playing catch with my dad or something. I think everyone just has a, it's interesting. Like, I have 2 kids, and my son loves sports. Like, ever since he was little, he would just want to pick up the ball and throw it to me, or, he loves every sport, like basketball, baseball, football. Any sport he can play. My daughter is the opposite. She doesn't really have any interest in sports. So, like if we're playing baseball outside or we're playing anything, she might pick up the bat and see her brother swinging, and she'll take the bat and swing a few times. Then she'll just kind of get bored, drop it, and just go play with something else. So it's interesting how all that happens. Hey, thanks, the Flossie. I know, that does need to happen. I have a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. Let's see if I missed any questions. How fast should a 14-year-old be off the mound? I don't really know. Like a 14-year-old, do I want my son to be in the big leagues? If he wants to be, then yeah, sure. Real quick on how hard you throw at certain ages and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm going to put this camera down a little bit because I feel like there we go. That's a lot better. I feel like people get really obsessed with how hard they're throwing at a young age, and it just depends. Like some kids at 14 are like 6'2" with mustaches and beards, and with some kids are like 4'9" with, they don't have any hair on their body anywhere. So, it's really tough to say until players get older. So I wouldn't get too crazy concerned with how hard you're throwing. And some 12-year-olds look like 28-year-olds, and I think they're awesome because they're just huge. Even though they're not that good, they're just huge. And so those kids throw hard, but then they, 3 years later, they're not throwing hard anymore. No, it's not necessary to play a perfect game to get noticed. Break any catchers, man. I do two things. I catch the ball a lot. I get on a machine and just catch. Thanks, Mike. You too, man. And then I take like a bat or a mallet and I just beat the crap out of my glove. Do I find it strange that DeGrom is throwing harder the older he gets? No. I think that he's learned how to use his body better. Like when you watch his videos, his body works better now than it did before. It looks like he actually is trying it looks like he's trying easier because his body is just like working better. So that's an interesting thing you talk about Greg Maddux. So Greg Maddux, I'll say this about radar gun. We can make a whole video on this. Radar gun is super important to get recruited and play at a higher level. Like, if Greg Maddux threw 74, he would have never, ever made it as far as he did, even if his ball moved like this much and he could put it wherever he wanted, because people would be like, it's not going to work at the next level, so they wouldn't give him a chance. So you do have to throw a certain speed to be able to continue to progress. And Maddux actually at one point threw much harder than he did. He threw hard at one point, and then his velo kind of went down a little bit. But he had amazing pinpoint control, and he had amazing movement, to the point where he had some of the best control and movement maybe of anyone. So, I totally agree with the point that it's not all about velocity, but there's a lot that goes into it. And it's also hard for, to say like, well, just have good, you just work on your command like Greg Maddux. He had the best command maybe of all time. Could you get to college only playing travel ball? Sure. I mean, I would play high school ball, but the glory of their times, I do not know that one. Can you make a living not making it to the majors? You can make a living. I mean, your first 5 years is going to be paid crap, and then if you can get through that, then you'll start making enough money to, like, I guess, kind of make a living, but you're going to be done playing at 30 years old probably if you're only a minor league player, so. I mean, my friend Sean Kazmar played a long time in the minor leagues. He only played what did he play, like a couple of days in the big leagues, a couple weeks in the big leagues, and, he made a living while he was playing, so, but that's very rare. Player profiles, I recommend doing player profile stuff. Probably once you get to high school, you can start putting them together. That's what we recommend to our players. Hey, thanks, San. Happy New Year's to you, too. And if he wants to switch hit, I'd let him switch hit. But, I mean, I think it's hard to switch hit. But at 8 years old, like, it's about having fun. So maybe let him just hit both ways if he wants to. I wouldn't be like, hey, you're going to be a switch hitter. Then again, well, my son is a lefty, but I was going to tell him he had to hit lefty. When my son couldn't even walk, I take that back. When my son couldn't even crawl, I have a picture of him when he's laying down. He can't even lift his head up because his neck isn't strong enough. He's holding my Wake Forest like little wiffle ball, kind of like bat. And I make sure in the picture, I would make sure anytime he held the bat, I'd have him hold it lefty. So I didn't know he was a lefty at that point, but I made sure I had him hold it lefty. So that was one thing I was going to have him do, hit left-handed. It just turned out he is a lefty with everything. I haven't played in all the MLB stadiums, but I don't know the best one. I played in Petco the most, obviously, so I really enjoyed playing there. I like Dodger Stadium just for the atmosphere. My best 60-yard dash time was a 6.58. And I don't know what's going on with Perfect Game nowadays, but like they've got guys running like 6.18s and 6.21s and stuff. I'm just like, whoa, like I don't know if they're making stuff up nowadays or what. All I know is I ran a 6.58, was the fastest ever, and I never lost a 60-yard dash in the history of my life other than to Jacoby Ellsbury. And he was the fastest human I've ever seen. And he ran like what did he run that day? Like a 6.2 something or 6, right around there. And that was like the fastest human I'd ever seen. Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, you said that already. Do I communicate with any current MLB players? Yeah, I mean, the only current guys that I communicate with are like guys that I played with and guys that I know would be Whey LeBlanc. Perfect Game measures at 60 feet, not yards. Seems like it sometimes. Yeah, the pop times are getting ridiculous. I totally agree. You'll see like a 1.57 pop from a 14-year-old. You're like, wait, I mean, is he throwing it to the pitcher's mound? I don't understand. Who would I hang out with most during my Padres days? I was probably around Wade LeBlanc the most. Chad Huffman a lot. You're talking about just in the major leagues or in the minor leagues? In the major leagues, it's probably around Wade the most. Lefties are limited because every throw is made to your left in baseball. And so if I'm going to throw it this way as a righty, boom, I catch it and I throw it. As a lefty, I'd have to catch it. I'd have to turn my whole body to throw it to my left. So that's why the game is kind of set up defensively for right-handed players. Offensively, it's set up better for left-handed players because, you're closer to first base as a left-handed hitter, which is an advantage. There's guys on first base a lot, and first basemen have to hold on the runner a lot. So if you're a lefty, you've got a defender standing right on the line, and so there's a big hole over there. Now, obviously, they're playing the shift a lot more. But if they play the shift, like one thing I'm going to teach my son, I don't know if he's ever going to play in the major leagues, but like if the shift continues and they just continue to shift on lefties, then he's probably gonna be able to run because he runs pretty fast. But I'm gonna teach him how to bunt so that if they decide to shift and take away that hole, then you just bunt the ball and get the first base on a nice easy bunt. Put it down. Reading books like The Shift right here. There's a section in this book where they talk about David Ortiz and how he bunted a few times, whatever. It said like if David Ortiz just literally if every time they shifted, he just said, okay, put a bunt down, people would be like, but he'd never hit for home runs. Like he'd be the most valuable player in the history of baseball if he just every time just said, yeah, I'll just take that hit. So that's what I'm going to teach my son. If they're going to give you a hit, take it. Yeah, bunting is a lost art. The game has just kind of shifted away from it. I mean, just think about that. If they shift you if you could eat, like if no one is over there and you're a skilled bunter and you just put it down and get the first, now clearly you're not going to put it down every time. But if you're pretty good, like you can bunt the ball probably 90% of the time. Yeah, 900 on base percentage, like it's pretty good. I think I would take that. No, Angel did not. I don't remember Angel Hernandez when I played. One thing about me when I was playing, I never paid attention to any of the umpires. Oh my God, cherry dip cone at Dairy Queen? Yeah, my dad used to get that every day when I was a kid, so that's where I tried it. I go with a cookie dough blizzard. Player interactions between umpires and players. Yeah, like I think most of the umpires that I was around just were like, just like the players talk to each other. The umpires would talk the same way. Well, there's some umpires that kind of thought they were like big time. Personality plays into it a little bit, I guess. But there were plenty of umpires that I just talked to like we were just buddies. Until he called strike three on me when it wasn't strike three, and then I called him a bad name. I just kind of didn't call him a bad name. Do you think the ability for college athletes to get NIL deals will make more prospects go to college rather than enter the draft? I don't know how that's all going to work out. I don't know how much money players are going to. I think ultimately it's just going to be like, does my signing bonus allow me to because no player in baseball, no player, at least to this point, has ever been like, oh, I'm going to go play pro instead of college because I can't get endorsements. Like endorsements in pro ball are nothing. It's not like LeBron James, right? Like LeBron James or like players in basketball. Like I was a first round pick. I didn't get any endorsements when I went in the draft. I mean, technically I got a couple free batting gloves and I had a couple of car deals worth a couple $1,000, but nothing, it's all about signing bonus. If you're going to receive a signing bonus that's going to change your life, then players are probably going to take it. And so I got drafted out of high school. I got a signing bonus that I didn't think was going to change my life. I didn't take it. I went in college. I got a signing bonus that I did think was going to change my life. I took it. RC from the NYC. What's up, RC? Thanks so much for hanging out today, and thank you for the super chat. Morning, Matt. Morning, Laura. Laura's probably still sleeping. We were, actually, I can't, never mind. I was going to say Santa Claus was delivering presents. We won't get into all that stuff. Belated Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone. It's hard to believe that we're 50 days from spring training camp opening. I hope we get baseball. I was going to say, RC, hopefully we are 50 days from spring training. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back, but I don't think we will. Are we really only 50 days away? Is that a real life number? How we are? I mean, it's crazy. If I could play for any manager, past or present, who would I pick? Oh, man, Bobby Cox would be cool. I hear a lot of people love playing for Bobby Cox. I played for Bud Black. Buddy Black was great. Who else? I had a chance to play for Buck Showalter just for spring training. I was with the Orioles because I got sent down to AAA like right before the season started. But I would enjoy playing for him. I'd like to. You could tell even in spring training that he was a really, 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 really smart baseball guy. So I'd like that as well. Maybe the Mets will sign me. Joe Torre. Ooh, Joe Torre would be an interesting one to play for. I like to play for Joe Torre. I'd like to play for Alex Cora also. I'd like to, Alex Cora's interests me. I know a lot of people are mad about things that he's done in the past and everything. But there's no doubt about it. Alex Cora just like, everywhere he's been, he's won. And the fact that he won and then, left and they lost and he came back and they won. And just, I just want to see what that all looks like. There's a lot of managers to pick from. Yeah, Tony La Russa, I personally don't feel like I'd be like, oh, I definitely want to play for him. I'm just curious. I'd love to play. I'd love to be like a fly on the wall in all of these different places. Just Jim Leland. Every manager, every coach is so different. When I think of playing for managers, actually, I always think about football for some reason. Like, I don't know what I would give. I'd give a lot to just be able to literally follow Bill Belichick around. That's all I want to do. I just want to follow him around, like literally the whole day. And I just want to see, Bill, what is it that you do that's all I want to know. That's why I like Michael Lombardi, who I really like. I don't know, Mike Lombardi, he has podcasts and a bunch of things, and he's been with Bill Belichick. He's been with a lot of guys. He's been with Al Davis, and he's been with Bill Walsh and everyone. Like, I would just like to sit with him and just talk with him about Bill Belichick forever. As you can tell, I love Bill Belichick. And I am pumped. We've got the Bills-Patriots games going on here in like a little over an hour and a half or so. I mean, this is for the freaking AFC East right now. And we've got COVID going through our team, which is really pissing me off right now. Anyways. Yeah, or like you're right, being around Earl Weaver or Billy Martin, like that would be really interesting. You ever gonna live stream? I did live stream my video games back in the day, but I haven't in a while. Maybe when I finally get this basement all set up and ready to go, I will. Oh, Kendrick Bourne's back for today? That's what I'm talking about, Larry. Thank you for that news. I haven't checked yet. So Kendrick's back. Beautiful. Oh, Desmond, I used to play a ton of Madden. The most talented players I played against while at Wake Forest, I'll name an order. These are the ones that I knew immediately, okay? Like, you don't have to be a genius to know about these guys right away, okay? And remember, this is in college. So the first guy I ever saw was Stephen Drew from Florida State. I watched Stephen Drew play. He was at Florida State when I was a freshman. The second I saw him, I was like, that guy's freaking nasty. And I sat out in the dugout and watched him take in Philadelphia and hit batting practice. He was awesome. That was my freshman year. My sophomore year, Ryan Zimmerman with Virginia. Now, he didn't hit well, but I watched him field in Philadelphia, and I was like, holy, you know what? Like, that dude, his fielding was amazing. He looked like a big leaguer fielding. Like, you could just tell he wasn't a college player watching him field. He was amazing. And then later that year was Ryan Braun at Miami. I watched Ryan Braun hit batting practice, and he was hitting balls into the trees opposite field. And I was like, this dude's got more power than anyone I've ever seen. Like, I said, is this guy on steroids or something? Turns out he was. Not then, but later on. But like Ryan Braun was amazing. So those three. Oh, Buster Posey, my junior year, Buster Posey for Florida State was like, he played shortstop and pitched for them, and you could just tell immediately, like, this dude's different. Who else? Oh, Matt Wieters. My junior year. No, my sophomore year. Matt Wieters. Matt Wieters hit a home run, first at bat, left-handed, then got up right-handed, then came in and closed and threw 90+. And he was a freshman at Georgia Tech. And I was like, geez, like this guy's pretty good. So those are all the position players. And then tons of pitchers. Like Andrew Miller was nasty, even though I hit him really well. Daniel Bard was nasty. So the ACC obviously has a lot of really, 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 really good players, a lot of really good teams. But those are some of the guys that come to mind really quickly. Road to 90, what happened? Here's the thing with Road to 90. One, I just couldn't do it physically. My body kept hurting. I hurt myself squatting. And then time, like, in order to be that good, see, this is one thing, actually, this is good. This is what this video made me realize. You know, for everybody that's like, oh, yeah, I can do that, right? Like, you know, like, It is so hard. You have to put in. You don't realize how much time goes into it. Like when I was a player playing, I put in, I don't know, 5-6 hours a day probably just training for baseball in the off season. And so and I was 20 something years old doing that, and that was what allowed me to do the things I did. At 36 years old, I'd have to put in like literally probably 6 hours a day to try to get back to doing some of those things. And I have a business and kids and and a wife that's not going to let me put in 6 hours a day. And I don't want to put in 6 hours a day. So I thought it was a fun little experiment, but I just couldn't do it physically, and I didn't have time. I mean, there's days where I work on my business from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I have no time to train. You're welcome, John. I never got to play high school football at Gillette. No, they didn't do that back then. I did play in a championship game my senior year, but it was not at Gillette. It was at Brockton High School. But if it was today, I would have played there because we were Division I, which is the biggest division, and it was a championship game. So, yeah, it's a lot easier for me to just do Road to the Show because then I can just sit on my butt like an old man and just play video games. My top 5 baseball books, I don't know. There's so many baseball books. Moneyball is definitely a great book. I like The Shift right here. I mean, I have thousands of books everywhere. Like, there's just a couple of them right there. Actually, the Life is Yours to Win. I actually want to read that today, actually. Maybe I will today, now that I don't mean today, like this week. I've read it, but it's been a while. I don't even know if I've read the entire book, so... Eastern Synergy? No, so I remember the Synergy, but I didn't use that. I used different Easton sticks. I don't remember the exact kind, but... 13-year-old who plays second base, daily practice drills. So, depends what what you have. I mean, if you can get ground balls daily, like real ground balls, then like that would be amazing. But you just got to use your science of hitting. I have that. So like whatever if all I had was this wall right here, I'd get a racket ball and I would just bounce the ball off it and field it all day long. So really depends on what you have, but there's nothing, the stealth, yeah. There's nothing better than like just real ground balls. If I could just get 1,000 ground balls a day, that would be amazing. Then you can mix in some of the drills. We have 1,000 drills on our YouTube channel. What did you eat for Christmas? So the way we do Christmas is Christmas Eve is kind of more of like the big eating day. So for Christmas Eve, we did all Italian food. So we did like chicken parmesan, we did chicken broccoli and ziti, we did sausage, pepper, and onions. We did, what else did we do? We didn't do any fishes, but it was just all different Italian food. And then yesterday, Christmas Day was more just like, kind of like all the leftover food that we had because we had so much food. Yesterday I had what's called pizza fui. It's like an Italian old school dish that I love. Maybe I'll show you guys one day. Patriots winning today? I hope so. They need a win. Let's go Buffalo, ZR. A couple things. I'll give you a quick, I know no one's here to listen to my Patriots thoughts. I gave you guys, if you guys went back and watched my Road to the Show, I told you exactly what was going to happen a couple weeks ago in the Patriots game. I said that the Patriots were going to, the day before the game, I said the Patriots were going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. I said it was going to be bad weather and a lot of wind. I said they were going to pound the ball right down the throats of Laura wants Starbucks. I said they're going to just pound it right down Buffalo's throat. And I said Buffalo wasn't going to be able to stop us. I said we're going to be tougher than them. And it played out almost exactly how I predicted. Now, today's game, today's game's not going to be like that because, one, we're missing Stevenson, one of our running backs. Two, Damian Harris's hamstring is a little banged up. I don't know if he's going to play yet. I haven't checked. And so we're not going to be able to just pound the ball down their throats. So it's going to be an interesting game. Buffalo's going to be able to throw the ball a lot more than they did last time. They can't run anyway. So I'll tell you this, all right? The game will depend on how well Buffalo can actually protect and not get Bud Selig. Why did I say Bud Selig? Can I just put Bud Selig in here? Not get Josh Allen killed. I don't feel good about Buffalo being able to pass the. Oh, Harris is in for today. All right, good. I don't feel good about Buffalo being able to pass the ball. I'm hoping that Josh Allen's toe or foot or whatever it is, his foot is hurting him more than normal, so he can't run around. I'm still going to go with a Patriots victory because of that home. I don't feel super confident about it, but I am going to go with it. It's a must-win game, obviously for both teams, pretty much. So I just don't. Josh Allen scares me when he's able to run around. Like I just don't like. I just don't like it. And again, if you could tell me the Patriots running back were all healthy and we could just slam it down their throats again, I'd feel great about that. With all that being said, hell, who knows? Watch, the Pats might spread it out today and just throw the ball all over the field. Why don't you want to talk about Rob Manfred? What do you mean, CJ? I don't know Rob Manfred at all. Yes, I will take the over on that. I can't drink coffee, Scott. I hate Scott coffee. Yeah, Stevens is out with COVID. Yeah, I know. I saw that. That's what disappoints me. I love that man. He's awesome. What inspired me to start making videos? I knew I was going to, well, first it was just to teach. I was just teaching, If you go back to my first videos, if you guys get off this and go to my oldest videos, they're so bad. It was while I was playing. I was just like making random videos. So that's what started, just being like, I'm going to help players because my dad coached travel ball and I helped them out. And then after that, it was kind of always that until people started asking me like, hey, what was it like playing the major leagues or the minor leagues? And then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like people are interested in this. So I started doing it and the channel started growing. And then the baseball business, Antonelli Baseball started growing. And I was like, it's fun to do. It also helps our business kind of grow. So what do we have for breakfast? Oh, sorry, I missed that question. All right, everyone, I'm going to give about one more minute, then I got to get ready for the Patriots game. I didn't even eat breakfast yet. All I had was a little smoothie this morning. Discussing crypto with the umps. Favorite Red Sox players? I'm actually not a Red Sox fan. I don't have a team that I cheer for, but I love watching JD Martinez hit. The Clean Fuego I have not used yet. That's true, Scott. Thanks, Ben. Weirdest pregame ritual? I can't think of any like pregame ones. There was one where a player would hit in nothing but a jockstrap when he was struggling on the field, and cleats. Yeah, Will's been a part of the Red Sox coaching staff for this whole past season. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do think the lockout will end by March, Flyers fan. How do you keep the bat from stinging? You got to hit the ball on the good part of the bat. Unfortunately, I think that's the only way. I never got my home run ball back in the major leagues. They lost it. they collected it for me. I traded the guy that caught it, like all these bats and everything, and the Padres took the ball and they lost it. Can you imagine that? They lost it. Like, how does that happen? This one right here is my first. That's my first hit ever off of that ball right there is my Greg Maddux. My first hit. That's my first hit right there. Uh-oh, Laura's throwing people into timeouts. She's taking people out of here. So with that, I don't think there's a minor league Hall of Fame, but I don't know. All right, everyone, time to go watch the Patriots game. Laura needs to get a Starbucks coffee. We're going to get all juiced up and ready to go. Biggest game of the season. Can't wait for it. Again, everyone have a great new year. We'll probably do this at some point again soon. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later. Hope Santa Claus was great to all of you.